Hey you guys, and thanks for tuning in. So there was a question asked, what time did we go to bed and what time did we get up? If someone missed breakfast or lunch, then what would happen? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the county jail. I was in the county jail for 3 months, and that's a really long time because if you've been sentenced to go to prison, then it usually doesn't take that long to be transferred from the jail to the prison. But for some strange reason, it was taking me forever. I saw so many women come and go. But anyway, in the county jail was horrible. That was the worst place ever. The food was just horrible. But for breakfast, we were always starving and couldn't wait for breakfast. So in the morning, we would wake up and breakfast was always served at 7. So we were always just waiting on breakfast. And you could hear the bell ringing, the king-ling-ling, because they were always pushing a big wheel thingy with all the food. And so when we would hear the bell, we would run and line up. So I was in the working dorm, and the working dorm consists of a huge looking warehouse. And there were maybe, for instance, there was upstairs and downstairs, and there weren't rooms. There was just open floor. And so there were maybe 50 beds upstairs and 50 beds downstairs. And these were bunk beds, okay? So the working dorm is, if you live in the working dorm, then you had to get up and go to work every day. They also had school dorms, and they had the medical dorm. Eventually, I ended up in the medical dorm. But anyway, so in the working dorm, a whole nother story. Here I go. But okay, so we had to line up at breakfast, and breakfast always consists of cereal in a box and milk and a piece of fruit, or a granola bar, a piece of fruit, and some juice, or something stupid. It wasn't like breakfast you're gonna get like eggs, something hot. No, it was something stupid, cold. So anyway, but they also gave you at breakfast a lunch in a box. Always consists of lunch in a box, and there was a sandwich, a fruit, and a cookie, or a cracker, or a trail mix, or some chips. So it was just something stupid. So I didn't care for breakfast, but I knew that I was going to be hungry if I had to get up and get in line to get the lunch. Okay, so work started at, I believe, like 8:30. You had to be ready at 8:30 for work. And what happens is your boss, your supervisor, like 10 supervisor would always come over to the working dorm and call, laundry, line up, or mental, line up, or medical, line up, depending on who you worked for and what your job was going to be for that day. While you were there, they would call you and you would go line up and go to work. So you had to be up by 7 if you wanted breakfast, and you had to be ready to go to work at 8. Now at nighttime, yes, we had to be in the bed at 8 o'clock every night. So at 8 o'clock, we knew to hurry up, take our baths, whatever we had to do, because we had to be in our bed, because they were coming around to count and they wanted quiet. And the working dorm, it was always loud and noisy. Like, you really had to be sane to deal with this, because it was loud and it was noisy. Always like 100 women just rah, 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 talking, rah, 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 just crazy fighting and just crazy in this dorm. Only God, only God, only God kept me. But I got high blood pressure. and I had to get out that working door. They moved me out of there eventually. But yeah, so we hurry up and get into bed and got quiet because they came around and they would count us. And they were really strict about that. And don't lay up there and fall asleep. Sometimes they would take their time. Oh, and don't fall asleep. Oh, you going to get it. So the officers were really mean. And you lay on your bed and you're laying there and you're waiting on them to come and count. But they would take their time, and you might be tired. And you might just fall asleep while you're waiting on them to come around and count you. But you have to be awake when they come. And you have to have one hand like hanging off your bed. You can't just have both hands on your bed. So some people fall asleep. And so when the officers would come around, and the mean women that they were, if you were asleep, ooh, they would scream and holler, Tasha! Oh my God! You one dirty sleepyhead, that boy, you. And I would laugh. I would laugh. I needed something to laugh about. But anyway, so that would be funny. So they would go around and they would count, and then once they were finished counting, and they would take their time. It took forever, and then they would say clear. Now, once they say cleared, you're allowed to get up and not make a lot of noise, but do anything else necessary that you need to do. Run to the bathroom and finish your face real fast or whatever. And then also they would call mail, and we really look forward to mail. Mail was just all we had. So we didn't always get mail if we were acting up. Like, okay, you guys were acting up. You guys were really noisy when we did our count, or before we did our count. You guys are not getting mail. So there will always be fights about, you guys are loud. You guys are make too much noise. We're not going to get our mail. So, but after count around 8:30, 8:45, they would do mail. 9 o'clock, they would do mail. And you had to get up and they call your name, go downstairs or get your mail, and then get back in bed. Now, they turned the lights off at 9. So they turned the lights off, and I'm so happy. That was my peace time. But then there was those who didn't know how to go to sleep. There was those who that was their time to talk and laugh and giggle, and they would take the pills and get high and jump over from bed to bed and have sex or whatever they were doing. So we were supposed to be in bed at 9 o'clock. The officers was not in the dorm. They were right outside the dorm, and then they had like a cage. So they were behind their cage, and they couldn't really see what was going on in the inside. So we're supposed to be in bed, but they hee ha ha ha, talking, acting like kids, and just having a really good time. And we would always get in trouble for that. Sex, another story. I'm not gonna go there. The things that I've heard and had to see, we're not gonna go there. Okay, but that was in a county jail. Now, once I finally left that crazy place, I was sent over to the prison. Now, the prison, I had to stay over in receiving. Receiving is where they send you when you first get to prison, and you do your medical and your psych, and they take care of you before they send you over the wall. The over the wall is the big prison. That's where you don't want to be. So remember, a lot of women was afraid to go over the wall. Nobody wanted to go over the wall. I'm scared. We've heard stories. We've seen women who left receiving, went over the wall because they needed someone to clean up the mess. The mess, the blood. Okay. No, I'm not doing nothing like that. I can't do blood. But anyway, we just heard some horrible stories, so nobody wanted to go over the wall. So, in receiving, oh God, you're locked up. You're in a room. You're in a room. It's tiny. You can't even imagine tiny. You can't move, which is a toilet and a little desk area which held your snacks, your food or whatever. But anyway, so Same thing. Oh, we were locked in there 24 hours a day. We were locked in there 24 hours a day. They only let us out for 1 hour. That 1 hour we had to take a shower. We can go outside and walk around, but they turned the lights out. No, 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 no. They didn't. No, no. They turned the lights out in the dorm. So it's like once you step out your cell, then you're in a big old dorm. So they turn those lights out, which means it's time to go to bed in the room. But you could keep your light on if you choose to, but most of the time everybody ready to go to bed, and you don't want to be disrespectful to your bunkie. A bunkie is the person who you live with. So you turn your lights off, and everybody had reading the book, little lamps. So, you know, same time, 8 o'clock, turn it off, go to bed. In the morning, you can't wait. You're hungry. You can't wait for the door to open to go to breakfast. Now, breakfast was hot breakfast at the prison, and it was wonderful. It was. They had a good breakfast. Just wonderful compared to the county jail. That wonderful because at county jail you weren't getting anything hot, but here you were getting hot food. So also you wanted to go because this is how you got your lunch. Still, you get the lunch in the box. Basically the same thing as the county jail. So if you didn't go to the breakfast, then you didn't have a lunch. You would just miss out. Same thing. If you don't want to get up, you didn't have to. You can stay in your bed if you choose to until everybody got back. Now in the last video, same thing. Everybody had to get in a line, walk together over to the kitchen, and eat at the same time. And so many tables had to get up and walk together back to the dorm. But if you miss breakfast, then you're going to be hungry. Now remember, you can't purchase food. A lot of women can't purchase food. A lot of women didn't have family or loved ones to took care of them to purchase, to send them money so they can't purchase food. So a lot of women, that's all they had. That's all they had was the breakfast and the lunch and the dinner. So they had to get up. They had to go to breakfast. And they had to go to lunch. Now when I first got there, it took over a month for me to receive my money from my family. So for a whole month, I had to go through the same thing. I had to get my butt up if I was going to eat and go to the kitchen and to get my breakfast and my lunch. And also, after that, then you're allowed to go shopping, and you go shopping and you buy stuff so you could eat. So you don't, well, me anyway, so I didn't have to eat in the kitchen. So once I got my money, then I would purchase food where I ate. I didn't have to go get up and go to the kitchen. So that was a wonderful question, and I went on and on and on. Thank you so much for that question. I really enjoy answering your questions. You guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll be more than happy to do a video and answer your questions. I know I have a lot of new subscribers, and I want to thank you guys for coming over and joining me. Please remember, there are a lot of videos. You can go way back and watch the videos from the beginning. I went ahead and reposted a couple, part 1 and 2, and then there's 3 and 4 and 50. Okay, you guys. But also for my new subscribers, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to do a video. So you don't have to go look for that particular video for that question. Okay, so thank you guys so much. God bless. Until the next video. Peace.